No, but this is the order.
Oh.
Oh, it's on. We're live.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Wait, hold
We're live.
on. Okay. Well, did we lose everybody?
Hold on.
We're live
Oh,
again.
no.
0 viewers. Well, because it's on a. Is it on a different link now?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
I wonder what
Copy link.
happened.
Okay, hold on. Let me text it to people. Oh, God.
Any idea what happened?
Nope.
Wait, text it in here. Where's the link? Hold on. Wow, that sucks. So that's just going to happen every time we use Jitsi?
Notifications.
Was anything touched when it? Any reason why it went?
No, it just stopped. I don't know. I didn't touch anything.
Oh, we have 4 viewers now.
Yeah, I'm posting it again here.
You have some dedicated fans, man.
Yeah, seriously.
It's really sweet.
Thanks, guys. Sorry about that. Well, I want to do our game
I
now.
know.
So let's see if we can get people back in. It was right when we had the most amount of people.
New link. All right, I'm supposed to...
Did anybody claim the Monero from your?
I am curious about that. I had no idea.
Can you check it easily, or
No.
you don't have it set up on your?
No.
Okay.
No, that's for them.
Yeah, I can't even post in there. We have 2 people viewing
Yeah, it's a
now.
different
Well,
one. Oh.
that's funny. That was a disaster.
Oh, that stinks. I guess maybe it should be. That's weird. Yeah, because I didn't touch anything at all.
It's very
Well, that
appropriate.
always happens when you record too, sometimes.
But that's a different problem.
But it's still through Jitsi.
It just stops recording now. I don't know.
I guess
this was
after, like,
different.
an hour?
It didn't boot us from Jitsi.
No.
It just stopped live streaming.
On the YouTube side?
What happened? Did it?
It stopped. Yeah, I don't really know if it was a Jitsi problem or a YouTube problem. I think it was a Jitsi issue.
Probably.
All right, we got some people coming back. Guys, if you can round a few more people up, we'll do the crypto scramble and give away those Monero. We only have 5 viewers now. Get more people.
True
Get more people.
supporters.
You tweeted it out?
Yeah, I retweeted it. I mean, onto that account.
Hold on a second. Hey, can you guys share the link? I'm going to post in the IRC.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, post it up. We're at 7 people.
Hold on a second.
The live stream. Hold on.
The Jitsi one.
We'll do.
Wait, the Jits here.
We'll do $2 for every viewer. We'll
Here's
amp it
the
up.
YouTube link. I just sent it to you, and then the Jitsi link
Okay.
is. This is the Jitsi link.
I feel bad. Everybody
I
got
know.
booted.
You can post both because the Jitsi one they can just chime in into Jitsi, and the other one. Oh, we're up to 6. It's going up.
We were at 7 actually. So.
Oh, whoops.
Exponential trends going on.
Aw. Oh wow, someone's going to sleep because it's 2 in the morning where they are. Aw.
Did you see the Ray Dalio article?
No. What's that?
You know who that guy is? A billionaire investor.
Mm.
Okay, it was an interesting one. It was on Reddit.
Mm.
But yeah, you want to put it up?
Yeah, I can post it.
So yeah, he's I guess he owns Bridgewater Capital, I guess it's called.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
know Bridgewater Capital.
Yeah. So he came out and officially gave his stance on Bitcoin. And
Okay.
it's actually pretty, when you read it, it sounds like he thinks there's, one of his concerns is privacy. You know, he talks about that.
Yeah.
And he basically talks about the risk that Bitcoin can be overtaken by something else that does Bitcoin better than Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like here's a perfect example of somebody who should be made aware of Monero. You know, his biggest criticisms are of Bitcoin. Monero seems to solve because he seems to be concerned about the fact that it may not be as private as assumed to be.
Just so you know, I posted to my Discord and IRC, so some people should be coming in.
All right.
All right.
All your followers.
Yeah.
We're up to 13.
All right, we're up to 13. We'll double the prize. So I'm seeing like 15. So we'll make it $30. Come on, guys, get more. We'll double whatever the amount of viewers are. We'll 2x it. Give away that amount of Monero.
And I will have that.
What's that?
I will have that.
Yeah?
We will have that. Yes.
No, you already gave yours away. You gave yours away.
No. I told you that from before.
Look at us. Everybody's dying to give away Monero.
Mm-hmm.
We can't give this stuff away.
I came on here with a promise, and
So yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting that he was talking about Bitcoin, and basically his biggest criticism, or what he saw as the biggest risk, is that the network effect of Bitcoin could potentially be overtaken by something else. And then his other, talking about the privacy, that it may not be as private as everybody thinks, essentially is what he was alluding to. And he was also talking about, the fact that governments aren't going to just sit and allow something like Bitcoin or Monero, whatever it is, to just walk in and take over and become, the currency that the entire world uses. That there's going to be a fight, And I think those are all pretty accurate things. Obviously, Bitcoiners are all chiming in saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. Bitcoin will be the one no matter what. But we already had that conversation on network effect.
I think it comes to a point where people have to just have the conversation. These moments of uncertainty, especially for the boomers, especially for the older people that aren't the millennials, I think they're finally having the slap in the face realization that this system is not right. It's you're talking about Monero being marketable. You need to be able to be able to tell the story within like 2 minutes, and that's not doable. People need to be able to get slapped in the face. They need to realize this system is just crazy, and they need to be able to realize, well, we need to do something else. What are the possibilities that we have right now to fix the fiat system, and we can go from there. Just beginning the conversation is enough. That is enough of a positive forward motion that allows us to go forward.
Yeah, I think there'll be moments, where people wake up to it. We're already starting to see it. I'm surprised that with the protest or the storming of the Capitol, I'm sure you saw that there was that guy in France that, he was on his deathbed and he sent out $500,000 worth of Bitcoin to the leaders of that movement. And I think it might be like $1 million at this point, because I think it was a little earlier. And it's all been tracked and traced. You could see it all. You could pull it up. They show who the guy was and how much he sent and who it went to. Now, that's great now, right? Because if you're not aligned with what those guys did, and I think for the most part most people aren't, that's good, right? They were able to see who was making these transactions, and that would seem like a good thing. But in the future, it may be a political movement that is one that is ethically correct, and it may be done by some minority group that is ethically correct. But just like the government was able to track and trace and see who's doing this, they'll be able to do the same with that and easily stomp it out. And for me, that's the crux of what this is all about. It's having a technology that can't be controlled by a tyrannical government. And that's exemplifying that Bitcoin can be, Now, in this case, maybe it was great. Maybe that was a group of bad actors. The fact that they've sanctioned wallets that supposedly belong to terrorist groups, yeah, sure, that seems great on its surface. Initially that seems like a great thing that we can do that, but when they start doing it for groups that are being called terrorists or being called, are getting labeled as groups that need to be watched, when maybe eventually these groups might actually be on the right side of history. They may be the minority opinion of the day, but ultimately they may be the ethically superior opinion. And the danger is that Bitcoin is a tool that can be surveilled. It's a surveillance tool, and it's everybody says it's censorship resistant, but effectively it's not. If you can, yes, you can press that button, you can send the Bitcoin, but if you can see who sent it and how much they sent and who it went to, they can come knock on your door. So that's what I think there will be. I'm surprised that didn't get more play as people realize, waking up to that. But I think there'll be a lot more moments like that where people start to go, oh, wait a minute. This whole Bitcoin thing, not nearly as, censorship resistant as I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, you are allowed to swing your fists where the other noses begins. It'll Bitcoin is one of those things. It's just like it is a revolutionary thing, and it is something that should be in the long term valued. Just like what the interview you played before, it's gonna be around. I'm trying to figure out how way to say this. It's gonna be around, but the thing is that there's better protocols that are in place, and I think that the Monero research team has found those things, has evened out those kinks to actually make this thing work with bulletproofs, with random X, with random ring signatures, with the stealth addresses, that the work that Sarang, all the no others, they have done something incredible, and I think, I think that what we're on right now is for a better future, and for the people that say that Monero is for people who are funding terrorists or people who are funding something that's bad, it's there already is a system for that, and that's cash. That is all under the table stuff. This is something for us plebs to be able to use the same system that the rich fucks have, to be able to be on the same playing field. And
right.
I truly believe that.
Yeah, the idea is who gets to decide what is ethically correct and what isn't ethically correct, and that power shouldn't be in the hands of the few people that are running the government. What do we have? We have a bunch of comments coming in. How many people we have watching right now?
16.
All right, guys, we're gonna do it. We'll do the game. let's do it in 5 minutes. See if you can get a few more people in here. So we give away a decent amount. We'll do it in 5 minutes from now.
I'll share it one more time with my people.
Somebody's saying Monero actually is traceable, or what did they say? Monero can be tracked. Somebody's saying. I have yet to hear that.
So actually,
a crypto intelligence firm claims they can do it. Cipher Trace. Yeah, they claimed. So there's good videos on that. Justin did some good videos on that where they actually interviewed that guy. And, if anybody, watching that, you don't walk away thinking that Cipher Trace actually knows what they're doing and is capable of tracing Monero. If anything, they've been able to use heuristics to based on probability to kind of maybe narrow down some of the things, but there's no deterministically way of tracing Monero. They even admitted that. And we know it's not, nothing is perfect, and you can always use, heuristics and data, and there's ways to put the puzzle pieces together. But Monero is by far the best thing we have.
I agree.
And even the Cipher Trace guys are saying they aren't capable of deterministically tracing it in any way.
And I think the thing that we, I guess, as a community, as a Monero community, need to be better at is opening our own minds. There's a couple of people that I've talked to in the past that have, and they're more close associates of mine, so I talk to them all the time. But there are smart people that are out there that are able to track certain Monero payments if they have enough data. If they have enough, like for example, if they have enough XMR.to payment IDs, or if they have enough, payment IDs that go to a certain exchange, that they are able to therefore trace certain people that are using that exchange. Now, that's better than Bitcoin because everybody can be able to trace everybody's Bitcoin payments.
Right. Yeah, the bottom line is like you're saying, there's there are ways of gathering information on the fringes that can be used, but it's really hard with Monero, and it's always going to be probabilistic. It's not going to be deterministic. Pretty much, it's going to be really hard to get it to pinpoint. Plus, ring signatures, we're at like 11, right? 11 decoys. I know that's going up very soon. And then there's new technology that, will take us up to potentially hundreds of decoys, and if not thousands at that point. It's going to be ridiculously, it's going to be impossible. And, it's also about using Monero correctly, right? It's if you're off the exchanges and just transferring it peer to peer, that adds a whole nother layer. And that's really kind of the direction Monero people are being pushed in, because we're literally being pushed off exchanges. But
I think that's the point where you need to have that system in place. There shouldn't be a part of cryptocurrency that you have to use correctly. Like, for example, Bitcoin, if you want to use it correctly and to be private, you have to go through certain protocols and certain mixers and certain VPNs. You have to connect to those mixers and certain internet browsers to connect to those mixers that you can use it, quote unquote, correctly.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Theoretically, it could be done on Bitcoin, but you have to be like an elite power user who's been doing it the right way from day one, who has perfect OPSEC.
And I think that's the same thing for Monero too. If you have a lot of payment IDs that are out there, and people there's ways that people can be able to buy it under the table. If they go to xmrnews, or if they go to change now, or all these different platforms that are allowed to change Monero to Bitcoin, they can get a list of those payment IDs and be able to trace certain people, that's a problem, and we need to talk about that. And the more we talk about that, the better the Monero research team can be able to figure out certain ways to navigate those problems. uh, I guess this goes back to what you were talking about before. We need more marketability. I guess in a way, we need more people talking about these problems, and we need to figure out solutions for that.
100%, man. Let's we're gonna do the game. We're gonna do the game. Let's throw it up there.
Want to go through the example again? Or?
No, we won't go through the example. We'll let people figure it out. I guess so. Oh, well, all right. We'll do the example real quick. Throw it up. Throw the in case we have new people watching. So real simple. We're gonna ask you one multiple choice question. You have to figure out what the correct answer is.
I have to put the Monero in the wallet.
Oh, you didn't put the Monero. We didn't put the Monero in the wallet yet.
Not yet, guys. You guys discuss.
All right, so do that, guys. Try to bring more people on. We'll do it in 2 minutes. We gotta wait for the Monero to transfer into the wallet. So we got 20 people viewing. Let's make it fit. We'll put $50 worth of Monero. We'll bump it up to 50. We'll do more than a 2x. I mean, my hope is we could, grow this show and get it to the point where we have, hundreds of viewers, and then we'll be giving away hundreds of dollars worth of Monero, which will be great. All right, we're sending it.
And I just sent it to my people again.
You want to throw the exam? All right, I'll let you do that. I won't bother you. I don't want you to make a mistake. So the Peter thing, what do you think? Should we post the Peter interview? What do you think?
Oh yeah, I want to hear more.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it was good. It was very, like I said, I didn't want it to be contentious. It became contentious, and hopefully he will come back on.
I would love to I would love to have a Monerotopia like this, and to be able to talk to multiple people about this subject.
Yeah, 100%. So he said he'll bring somebody else on, an expert that can argue the technicalities. And like I said, we'll bring an expert on too. I'm kind of like the Peter McCormick of Monero. Although I didn't Google fungibility during the interview.
Yeah.
So we'll bring on, maybe we'll get Justin on or somebody else that's really knows their stuff in the real technicalities, and we'll let them go at it.
Yeah, I agree.
The other major criticism, obviously, and we talked about it with Peter, and Maxie's love bringing it up, is the fact that Bitcoin isn't, or rather Monero isn't 100%. You can't audit it, right? You can audit it, But,
you can, yeah.
So I was explaining that to him. I gave him a good analogy as to why, it's basically you're trusting in technology, just like we do with anything else,
Yeah.
So you can audit it, you can run it, you can run the code, you could audit it. Then you have to trust the code. You have to trust that the math behind the code is correct. You have to trust that the implementation is correct.
Just like you can trust every website that you go on to put in your credit card number with the HTTPS website address,
the right address.
That's encrypted to securely transfer your credit card number properly. It's the same thing, if we have a system in place that allows the same thing for cryptocurrencies to securely, while privately transferring that data, it's all for the better. It's not for the worse. People think private means worse, and it's not. It's secure. Private means secure.
I mean, I hate the whole privacy thing. It shouldn't be called a privacy coin. It should just be called, it's a cryptocurrency. It's one that's done correctly. and that's why it allows for privacy. But
privacy is democracy.
yeah, Fluffy's recent video on inflation bugs and auditability was also very good. Yeah, I mean, he covers it very well. Basic concept being that it can be audited. You can run the code, but you just have to, make sure we have to be certain that it was correctly implemented. Is there a possibility of a, undetectable inflation bug in Monero? Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. But how do we overcome that? We make sure the code is audited enough. We make sure it was properly implemented. Yep. And the analogy I gave to Peter in the interview was, Bitcoin's like the Model T Ford, right? Very simple to understand. You pop the hood, you can see the pistons triggering, you can see the belts. It's very easy to understand and trust that when you hit the gas pedal, the car is going to go, and you hit the brake, it's going to stop. When you step into a Tesla, and you're not even touching the steering wheel, and you're trusting that thing is going to get you from point A to point B going at whatever 100 miles per hour. What do why are you trusting it? You're trusting in the engineering, right? You're trusting in the math and the science behind that. It's the same concept. Monero is a little more abstract than Bitcoin, so it does require a little more trust in the actual technology, because you can't, just like you can't with the Model 4T, you can see it functioning. Just with Monero, you can't see it. It's obscured. It's running on the same basic technology, right? It's blockchain at the end of the day, but it's obscured, and you basically need to trust in the math and the cryptography behind it, and in the people that are implementing it. And if you want, you can verify it yourself. But you got to be smart enough to do that, or you just trust in the other people that enough people have looked at it.
Yeah,
and so
I mean, it's just like with vaccines. I trust scientists. I trust mathematicians. I trust people who know their shit. To make those decisions and to make those protocols in place to allow freedom, to allow us plebs to be able to be on the same playing field, to not have some dude in Nigeria sell his product to some dude in the United States and rip this guy off because the currencies are different. I think that's bullshit, and I think that there needs to be a way for everybody to be on the same playing field.
Yeah, totally agree. And it's about risk, and with maybe there is a little bit more risk with Monero in the early days, because you're trusting that there won't be this secret inflation bug that hasn't been detected. But over time, that risk is going to approach zero as it's audited more and more over time, and more money's going into the ecosystem, and you're getting so much more for that risk. Now you're getting fungible digital cash. That's what you're getting for that. And so with Bitcoin, you could say great, it's more secure, but look at what you're losing. It's no longer really functioning as intended. And not to mention, Bitcoin has these other unknown security issues. So like we said, an inflation bug can happen on Bitcoin. Yeah, we may be able to detect it faster, right? Because it's transparent, as opposed to Monero, where maybe you wouldn't notice until you looked at all the exchanges and said, wait a minute, there's 20 million Monero collectively between the exchanges. That's more than Monero that's supposed to be in existence. So it would take longer to realize the inflation bug. But with Bitcoin, you're sacrificing all that privacy. That's what you're giving up for this supposed security. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's fine with the fact that there's a security risk with the securing the network, the mining network, right? When we reach that 21 million cap, relying on the fact that the network's now going to be secured by miners just through transactions as opposed to actually mining the coin, that's a security risk. Nobody knows how that's going to actually play out, especially with this idea that most of the transactions are going to be on layer 2. Now, what's the incentive? What's protecting the network? Where's all that hashing power going? Whereas in Monero, there's a tail emission. We know there'll always be security there, but for some reason that's overlooked in the Bitcoin community. All of a sudden, security isn't an issue. So if security is the number one issue, there's a lot of hypocrisy there as to sometimes it matters, but sometimes it doesn't seem to matter as much.
Yeah, and just to add on top of that, I mean, I 100% agree with you. It's just you gotta have those conversations. You gotta have the discussion of what could break Bitcoin, just like what could break Monero. Just with what Bitcoin maximalists love to talk about is what could break Monero. Well, what could break Bitcoin? I would argue more could break Bitcoin than more can break Monero. Just because there's so many protocols in place that prevent the breaking of Monero, like RandomX, like bulletproofs, multiple other things that is so far ahead of what Bitcoin's proposing. I think what Bitcoin people are denying people is that conversation, is that dialogue to be able to think outside the box, to be able to come up with solutions that normal society can't come up with it on itself. And that's the problem we're trying to solve, is the fiat problem. That's what we're trying to solve, is the fiat problem.
100%. Yeah, people are saying Bitcoin has no security. When 21 million is approached, miners may say bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, that's a risk. That's a risk. People don't know. Yeah, someone said free Monero. Yeah, we're gonna do it right now. Did it go through? Did you send to the
it went
wall?
through.
Okay, so we're gonna do the game right now, guys. Sorry for all the hiccups there with going down. Let's put up the example. Here's the example. So multiple choice question. The example is, what ring size does Monero currently have? Correct answer is 11, which would be a field. So then that becomes the word that goes to the top. So then the order is a field, ringing, deck, judge. So that's the correct order of the Monero private key. The game we're going to do, it's going to have, so that's only actually 5 words. A Monero seed has 25. So we're asking one question. Instead of doing 5 questions, we're going to do 1 question, but there'll be 5 seed phrases per possible answer. So when you put it in the correct order, it will unlock the correct seed. Hopefully we did it correctly. We kind of put this together right before going on air. So good luck, guys. We want to put the question up? All right, we're going to put the question up.
Got it, Scrambler?
Is everybody ready?
All right.
Ready to scramble? You ready to crypto scramble?
Here we go.
Right.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go, guys. Bam, there's the question. Monero's money supply is currently. You want to read the?
Yes, sure. Monero's money supply is currently A, more than Bitcoins and always will be. B, less than Bitcoins, but will start being more in approximately 2022. C, more than Bitcoins, but will become less in approximately 2040. D, less than Bitcoins and will become more in approximately 2040. Or E, less than Bitcoins and always will be.
So those are the potential answers. You got to select the correct one.
Make sure it goes to the top.
Move it to the top, and then all your seed words are in the correct order. And now you obviously have to open that wallet, claim it, sweep it if you can, move those Monero off, and they're yours.
You got it, guys. I believe in you.
Less BTC versus more. Is it D? He's asking. Should we give the correct answer?
I think you should.
Let's wait a little bit. Does anybody want to say? Does anybody want to chime in the chat?
I am curious if someone could snag this without any help.
Where is Girl Gone Crypto? Wrong show. But we can get her on.
So I'm currently. I'm gonna shout this out real quick. My buddy Buck Rogers is asking me what the fuck is going on, basically, and he. Hold on a second. You guys can go
D
ahead.
is the
I'll
correct
say it.
answer.
You didn't tell me that.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. It's not the top. And this is the correct order.
I don't understand what. So you sent it to the wrong wallet?
No,
Oh.
the correct wallet.
Okay, guys, we're having some technical difficulties here. So the correct answer was.
No, but now this is not going to the top. And this is the correct order.
I don't know what you're talking about. The correct answer is D. So that becomes the C. That's the correct answer.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what you're saying now.
This is the correct order.
Oh, you put it in the wrong.
I didn't tell you.
Oh my God.
The disaster.
You put it. So
No,
it was
you
already
didn't.
in the correct order?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, some technical difficulties here. Well, the correct answer was D. So Monero's currently, its money supply is currently less than Bitcoin's, but it's ultimately going to be more. And it doesn't cross that threshold to, I think, like 2038, actually, which a lot of people don't realize. And then obviously it's, infinite supply from there on out. But yeah, it's going to be less than Bitcoin's for, the next almost 20 years. But what we're realizing is you're saying it wasn't put in the correct order. So to claim this, I'm going to tell you guys what you need to do to claim the Monero. So first person listening to me now, basically it already was in the correct order. So you just have to go and put the key in as it is, and you'll be able to unlock that Monero. So there you go. First person who is still listening, that's your Monero. Unlock it. It's yours. Apologize to the person that actually got the answer first. Put the key in the correct way.
I want to know who got my Monero. Like, did we ever figure that out?
Well, are you sure somebody got it?
No, I have no idea.
Did anybody claim it? Did anybody get his Monero?
That's way more than what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. But I don't know. Somebody. No, well, you did 0.2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like $30. We did $50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
40.
Slightly lower than what.
Oh, we did 40. I said bump it up to 50. All right, whatever. We did 40. Next time we'll hopefully have a higher prize. We'll have more viewers. Did anybody get it? I'm sure somebody grabbed it.
I would imagine so. It was literally laid out.
Yeah.
It was literally laid out for them.
It was literally.
It was the first show, so we made it easy.
Silver platter.
Oh, it's out. Someone took it.
All right, somebody got it. Somebody got ours. Yeah. All right. Crypto scramble. It was already. The trick was it wasn't even scrambled. That was the trick. We'll do this game again next time. So yeah, man, I think we'll leave Monerotopia at this. Is anybody watching want to say anything? Anybody have any comments? Man, I'd love to get more people just chiming in on the live, on Jitsi coming in,
Me
like
too.
people that we haven't heard from in the Monero community. There's so many people out there.
And again, I want to emphasize, the people who are privacy
Wrote the Jitsi
centric is that, like what Doug was saying, is that you could be able to manipulate your voice to hide your identity.
Yeah, no, there's no login for Jitsi, so you don't have to create an account. I guess, you could use a VPN or something, go onto Jitsi. It's, it's obviously not perfect OPSEC, but, it should be good enough. And if you don't want to show your video, you don't. So people will just hear your voice. And if you really want to take the next level, you can, disguise your voice somehow.
Yeah.
But just come on. I want to talk to people that are like lurking the Monero community every day, using it all the time. I want to hear from these people,
Me too. I think what you're doing is great. I think having more open conversations about this stuff is for the better, and not leaving it. Oh, did we get someone?
Oh, we got
We
somebody.
got a few.
Oh, finally. Wow. Okay. Here we go. Let's get them in. Let's get them live.
Well, their
All right.
cameras off. I think their audio's on. Hi, Josh. Hello?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Hey,
Yes,
hey,
hello.
man. All right.
Hey, sorry I
This-
don't have a camera.
Successful show. We got somebody new on. Have you ever been on talking about Monero yet? Hello.
Hello?
What happened to him?
No, there's a little bit of a delay. Sorry guys. Long-time listener. Thank you guys for doing the show. Always a pleasure watching Monero Talk.
Awesome. Thanks.
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming on. So you want to tell us a little bit about your Monero journey story? Obviously, you don't need to go into great detail. We don't need to know how much Monero you have or exactly when you got into it, but give us a general idea as to why you're into Monero.
Well, I was into Bitcoin for a long time. Started mining in 2011. Lost most of it actually in the Mt. Gox hack, which was a total bummer, and was always more interested in the tech really than any idea of it, blowing up, mooning, any of that kind of thing. But with the advent of CryptoNote and that white paper, and kind of that just rocked the whole world for me in terms of, wait a minute, of course this is all transparent. Of course this wouldn't work as real money. I mean, personally, I'll admit, anytime I paid somebody with Bitcoin, one of the first things I would do is go on a blockchain explorer and just like peek, see what's going on, see how, you know what I mean? See who else is paying them, see how much they have in their wallet. Like there are always going to be those little voyeuristic tendencies, especially if you're talking about nation states, big business, anything like that. And when you think about companies like Chainalysis, CipherTrace, with the amount of compute power and smart minds they'd be able to put behind efforts like that, there's just no way it would function as a financial system.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. So one of the things when we had Peter on a few days ago, and I think we decided we will post it, the last question I asked him, I said, hey, Peter, would you do me a favor between now and the next time we do the interview? Will you put a Monero donation address on your website? He's like, well, no. He's like, I'm a Bitcoin show. I'm not a Monero. I was going to do the British accent, but I'm not going to.
Please don't do that.
He's like, it's a Bitcoin show. So privacy. So he's like, no, I'm not putting a Monero address on there. I'm a Bitcoin show. I got my Bitcoin address. I was like, oh, no, I know you do. I was like, because I actually looked it up and I saw that you had 4 Bitcoin in there. And then like he was like, what? He's like, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's all there. It's all true. He's like, well, it's not there anymore. I was like, yeah, all right. So maybe you moved it. I'm like, but anybody can go in and they can see. They could see that 4 Bitcoin were sent to that address. They could see that it's now been sent to these other addresses. I'm like, just do yourself a favor. Use Monero. Put a Monero address up there. So even that, it's like, I don't see how you can be a Bitcoiner and not realize that you're going to have to deal with those situations.
Well, what's the what's that old saying? It's hard to get someone to understand something when their paycheck depends on them not understanding it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
No, I get that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's exactly the position he's in, and I can't totally fault him for that. But it'd be nice to start seeing some more BTC maximalists stepping up in support of Monero.
But I want to touch on this real quick and say, can, can you imagine if, let's just say, if Satoshi is actually still alive, right? If he's still out there in the world, can you imagine what would happen if he would actually transfer some money to exchange to get some money from an exchange? That would set off an insane bear market that is not sustainable for any type of currency. You can't have a public currency like that can be able to you can publicly view people's wallets like that can spark global trends that skyrocket a currency or down rocket a currency. Like you, that's not sustainable. You can't have people that transact certain amounts that create massive swings in the economy. You can't have that sustainable.
Yeah, I definitely think that's one of the issues. It doesn't make sense. Businesses aren't going to want people to know, when they make a transaction and maybe go to a certain supplier, and it just doesn't make sense on so many levels. I see, Josh. There's actually questions for you. People are saying, so are you all XMR, or do you still have interest in BTC?
All XMR. And I know that's maybe going to sound crazy to some people, but like I said, I never got into this with the idea of it making me rich. I'm very happy with where I am financially outside of crypto. XMR is the ecosystem I want to be a part of, and my personal holdings reflect that.
Nice. All right. I thought I was the only one. I'm glad there's another idealist out there. No, there's a lot. There's so many in the Monero community. I'd say that's the one thing that I think is most valuable about the Monero community, is the fact that there's so many people that are in it for the idealistic reasons behind digital cash. It's not about, obviously, number go up. Obviously, people want to make money. I'm not saying Monero people are on a different level than Bitcoiners, but I do feel like there's a higher percentage of people in the Monero community that are really in it more for the ideals than just making money.
But at the same time, I think that there has to be more interest in investigating the certain issues that we have to believe that XM, to believe that Monero is invincible is wrong. It, it, any crypto is invincible is wrong. To go 100% on Monero, is one thing. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I think that more people need to look at the code. I think that more people need to. I think the more people that see the code and to audit it is for the better, and that's what Monero is doing. Monero is on the front end of that. Bitcoin isn't holding any audits or anything like that to improve their code. Monero is. Um, I, I I think that's all for the better. I think the more we break down Monero, the better it becomes, and that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, I think Monero's good at being self-skeptical. Josh, you got anything else you want to bring up?
No, man. Like I said, I've tuned into Monero Talk for a long time, and I always appreciate the effort you guys put in to bring people into the space and to talk about what's going on with the coin. And I hope you'll keep doing it for a long time.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, and feel free to jump on anytime. Hopefully, we'll do these on a weekly basis, the Monerotopia shows. And yeah, we really want the format to be that anybody can jump on the Jitsi and just come on and talk.
Well, cool. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, nice
Thanks
meeting
for
you.
coming on. Nice meeting you. Take care.
Yes, man.
All right, I think we'll wrap it up there. I feel like this show is a success now that we actually got a viewer that was just tuning. That was like one of the goals, to get somebody that was just watching to come on, which is great. And hopefully the word will spread about that's what this show's about. It's about the Monero community just having a conversation.
And spreading the word about Monero.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining us on our first show. Cheers.
And another
Cheerios.
cheers.
We got a little toasted over here. These martinis are pretty strong, slurring my speech a little bit.
The hops are
and messing around with private keys at the same time is not a good idea. Not a good combination.
the hops are I don't even know the word to say it, but tantalizing my palate.
So
enjoy those hops, man.
I will.
One last. People are saying XMR should be easier to buy. I agree. That's unfortunate. Bitcoin was difficult to buy at some point. There are ways to get it. Depending on where you are, it may be easier or more difficult, but there's always a way, especially if you get another crypto. You should be able to figure out how to exchange it into Monero.
I know that you guys have promoted Cake Wallet before, but I really, really would like to promote local Monero as a huge influence on the Monero community, because that allows the OTC trading of Monero from the beginning. I mean, that was the OG one, in my opinion, before BISC, before all these other alternatives. Local Monero is a huge plus to the community. So props out to that guy that created that.
Totally agree. Alex, I believe his name is. I think he's managed to maintain his anonymity pretty well. He's come on our show. He's awesome. He's obviously a true believer, and yeah, that's a major resource for the Monero community. He's done a great job with that. But yeah, so anybody that's looking to obtain Monero, local Monero is a great way to try to do it, depending on where you are in the world. Cake, obviously, we're big Cake fans here. That's pretty.
I love Cake. I use it all the time.
Very, very simple way. If you have another crypto, you can, the Cake integrates with these exchanges, and you can very easily turn your other crypto into Monero, and it goes right into your Cake wallet. So that's probably the easiest way. Feel like Monero has a future community in the New York City bodegas. Yeah, totally agree with that. That's actually, we tried.
New York City bodegas, what does that mean?
I guess saying that it can be kind of, it's a place where you could acquire it. I don't know. What do you mean by that, Gerardo? Cash is king, baby. Yeah, so he's saying like, they'll be accepting Monero. One of the things we were trying to upstart and just didn't really have the time or resources to do it. Well, actually selling cards, gift cards, where you can then redeem it for Monero. But we're in New York, and unfortunately it just became, this was years ago we were thinking of doing it.
Well, New York.
Now I really wouldn't touch it. What's up?
I said New York is a harsh place for crypto in general.
Yeah. So when we were thinking of doing it, it was a little more of a gray area. Now it's, you need the bit license essentially. So idea being, you'd be able to go into a bodega or 7-Eleven, buy a Monero card for cash, and then go redeem your Monero. Wouldn't that be great? Amazing that, that can't exist in New York for legal reasons. I mean, that's amazing. Obviously if you get your bit license, there are ways to do it. And another idea we talked about is getting people to give change out in Monero. So, you go to your bodega, your local bodega, you buy, a water or a pack of gum or a Snickers bar, and maybe you pay $10 cash for it, and then the bodega gives you your change back in Monero. So I think that would be great if we could get to the point where stores are starting to do that. So not only accepting Monero, like they'll accept Monero, and that obviously that's something that could easily be done today. Anybody anywhere, the United States can essentially opt into accepting crypto. In New York, they could bodegas could say yes, pay in cash or pay in Monero. They could accept crypto. But it'd be amazing if they were offering change in Monero. I think that would be a good way to onboard a lot of people. And obviously, I think there's a gray area there in terms of legality, but I think it'd be allowed. I think it'd be allowed.
Yeah, I think it would be allowed to.
Because you're not trading, you're using it as a transactional tool. So if you can legally accept Monero, why couldn't you provide change in Monero?
Yeah, I mean you should. The thing is that I think first, before we even get there, I mean we need to have these conversations with every generation. I mean millennials, boomers, everybody. The stuff that's happening right now is so good for the long term look of the economy. The Wall Street bet story, the Bitcoin story, the Monero story, all these stories are good for the long term outcome of the. I mean, for me personally, the United States, but for every other nation, I mean, to have a currency that is able to invest into a currency that is sustainable, that's for the better than having their currency rely on a lie that is fiat.
All right, let's leave it at that. And we'll close out our first episode.
Yeah.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man.
Yes.
This has been fun.
I like this format. This is fun.
This is good. Yeah.
We'll definitely do it again next week. Anybody who's watching this, tune in next week. I think we'll probably do it at the same time, right? Sunday nights. It'd be nice if you did it at a time where Europe can tune in as well. I don't know what that optimal time would be. I guess kind of more during the day. So we'll figure out maybe a better time. But yeah, cheers everybody. Tune in next time. We'll give away more Monero. Come on the show if you want to chat.
Okay, awesome.
To Monero.
Cheers, guys.
Monero.
Thank you again for doing this. It's been great.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Have a good one, man.
Take care.
Absolutely. Take care.
Ciao.
Bye.